Started grinding so hard, I damn near turned asexual.
Asexual.
And that's messed up, bro. Because it's almost like I inadvertently became a slave to my own productivity. So now when I don't do anything, I feel like I'm worthless.
Worthless.
And that's not how life should be. At least I don't think it should be like that. When you're working so hard and you have this goal in mind, you have tunnel vision. So then you're only fixated on this goal and its path. And if you deviate even just a little bit off of that, your self-worth is put to question. I don't think I like that because while I'm chasing this goal and having these ambitions, I almost forgot why I was doing it because I became a completely different person and not all the way in a good way.
See, now, okay, this is the problem. See, now the mic quality might be messed up, and I don't want to have to redo that. If it's bad at the beginning, then I'll just do a voiceover. But hopefully that was good.
Like I was saying, before I put my head in the dirt and just started to grind out and try to make my life super productive, it was just binging. Constant coochie, hinge dates, Tinder dates, all these temporary link ups. Physically, it would feel good, but mentally and spiritually, I would feel drained. I feel like I had nothing else left, and I couldn't help but to feel like I could put this into a more productive matter than just women that won't matter for me in the next day or whenever I need them physically. Now that is if you don't get them pregnant, because then if you don't need them the next day, then you're gonna have to be in contact with them if they were to get pregnant. And I don't want to do that because I feel like hookup culture and just having a whole bunch of casual intimacy, you can only leave with a pregnancy or an STD. Realistically, if you're just binging that shit and you have no plans to stop, those are only two routes you're gonna take. Didn't want that, left it alone, put my head in the dirt, started grinding. But amongst that, I cut off all of them. And as I started to work and my life became more productive, quote unquote, I lost interest in even trying to pursue that shit anymore. Marriage turns me off, relationships turn me off. Now I still find women attractive. Don't get that twisted. Shout out to Frank Ocean and all that, but that's not what that is. But I don't have any drive to go out on my own to just go and do that shit. Luckily, I'll have every so often where an attractive woman can approach me and then we'll see where it goes. But usually it just ends up being physical. Cool. But anything else outside of that context, it doesn't really feel worth me going out of my way. And the crazy thing is, that's not a one off experience. There's a lot of people my age who are early 20s or even younger than that who already are experiencing that lack of drive because they're putting that elsewhere. So maybe it's not asexuality. Maybe it's just a product of me trying to find worth in my productivity. And that's not how things should work because then we're manufacturing ourselves. We're literally turning into robots at that point. That's not good. I've essentially lost myself in this journey to try to make myself better. And on the way, you lost that person. Imagine trying to be the man of your dreams, right? Pause. Not like that. No. Let's rephrase that. Imagine trying to be a man worthy of respect and having an abundant amount of money, an overabundant amount. He can wake up, he can do whatever he wants, constant respect, everything you can think of that would benefit him, and that would be a good look, and it would be a great time, right? Now you have to put in some serious hard work to get to that point, right? Now imagine trying to become this best man, but by the time you get there, you're a robot, so you're not even a man anymore. Does that make sense? You've essentially lost the foundation of what you were chasing. Now you have to go on a whole nother journey to figure this thing out again. I don't think it should have to be like that. You shouldn't have to backtrack. So I think to prevent this from happening once again, you have to find peace within the down moments and you have to accept failure for what it is. Failure is not supposed to define you whatsoever. It's supposed to give you data for what you can do differently, especially with being on social media for pretty much not the entirety of my life, but a good portion of it. You constantly fixate on numbers and you can have good weeks, you can have bad weeks, you can have good months, bad months. You can have a 10K day, you can have a $10 day, but no matter what, the numbers are still going to be there. And if you look at that every day, you're going to stress yourself out and you're going to become a slave to numbers you have no control over. That's a part of losing yourself as well. It's not something I like to admit out loud, but it's something I needed to do often so I could really gauge where I'm at. You're not going to get anywhere without self-awareness. One thing I've also done to try to get my mental back, I've always had this bad thing of underestimating myself. But one thing I seem to notice that I did in my past was overestimate my self-awareness because there were far too many problems that I've had that are no longer problems today. If you truly have the self-awareness that you claim, a lot of these problems and these issues would have been rectified and you would have been closer to a solution. Now, this is not to say that all problems are just so simple to where you can solve it if you know what the answer is. That's not what I'm saying. But we tend to overestimate some of our abilities sometimes because there's something we're trying to live up to. But it's wild how usually when we get to that point, there's two ends of the spectrums where you underestimate yourself or you overestimate yourself. I don't really see too much of an in between. And we can blame that partially on the prominence of social media. We get to see so many lives and see so many success stories. Barely any failures, bro. It gets to my head sometimes too, man. I feel like I'm not doing enough sometimes when everybody else in my real world could be saying, "Oh, I'm so smart. I'm so strong. I'm so buffed. You're handsome. That, and the third, right? You know, they're just on my meat, right? But when I'm in my room and it's dark and it's just me, myself, my thoughts, I feel like I'm the biggest piece of shit known to man. I feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm not smart. I don't know what I'm talking about. I feel like every negative thing compared to what everybody else is saying to me in my real life. It's like I don't trust the results. I hate that. I want to get to a better place to where I can be productive and I can trust myself that the results from the hard work that I've been putting in is actually working. I think hard work is something important that everybody needs to participate in more than once in their life. It really does build character, but always keep in the back of your mind what you're doing this for. For me, how I do that, I always have a piece of paper where I talk about where shit always where it started from. It's real basic, but I won't share all of it. But towards the last line, it's the world is ours. Don't you dare give up. Think about that shit every day. I think you should too. Before I head out, always remember failure's biggest enemy is consistency. When you feel like giving up, it's when you go harder. I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you for taking a chance. Thank you for listening. I'm out.